Hello, welcome to MelMade. My name's Mel. I am a knitter and sometimes a bit of a sewer, but a beginner sewer, and usually an experienced knitter. I say usually because I haven't been able to knit for absolutely ages, which is why I haven't done a podcast or an episode for quite a while. Because I'm sad that I can't knit at the moment, but I thought I'll do a Christmas episode. So it is the day before Christmas Eve, and the kids are still at school, so I'm like, oh, I've got some time. Nearly everybody I know is struck down with some sort of cold, flu, COVID. It's a bit strange at the moment. It's been absolutely freezing in the UK, especially in the northeast. It's just sort of mellowed out a little bit now, but we have had sort of really low temperatures, sort of -6, -7 Celsius. I think parts of Scotland got -15. Some of you watching that won't be very low at all, because I know some of you are from climates that do get really, really cold in the winter, but for us, I'm like, oh, that's freezing. But it's a little bit milder now. We've got sort of like, I don't know, 5 or 6 degrees outside, just sort of getting to the feel of Christmas, which isn't normally a white Christmas for us. It's normally grey and brown. But yes, we're getting there, and we're all still mostly in one piece, so that's good. So we'll start with what I'm wearing. I am wearing, this is something that I completed, oh gosh, I think it was last year. I'm wearing my Amaryllis by Marie Wallin. I saw this design, oh there you go, can you see it properly? I saw this design on Fruity Knitting when I first watched it, and I was entranced by it. This is knitted in Rowan felted tweed, and the original is, sorry, that's my dog sneezing. Charlie, just lie down. This is knitted in Rowan felted tweed, and the original colours, I believe, were alabaster, so slightly lighter grey than this, and a really limey sort of green. I can't remember, maybe avocado it was called. And I'm not into limey greens, but I love this turquoise. So I thought, oh, what can I find that will go with the turquoise? So I chose this, I think this is clay. And I thought, oh, they'll go nicely together. And I think they really do, with the beautiful, beautiful turquoise there. I had never done intarsia before. So if you can see, I think I've already shown you. There's some intarsia there. I did have to re-knit some of the sections. This cardigan is knitted in pieces, flat from the bottom up. And it doesn't take long because it's just so exciting, because, you know, you're either doing Fair Isle or you're doing intarsia. When you do get to the plain bit sort of here, you just go, oh, it's plain now. So you go, zzz, and it just all sort of happens, really. The felted tweed, which is what the original yarn is what it calls for. I really, really like this wool. It's not scratchy. It's very soft, and it's oh gosh, what's the composition of it? I believe it's merino. It's got some alpaca in it, and a little bit of viscose, perhaps. I think the alpaca means that it's soft and it drapes a little bit more than it would if it was just 100% wool. And it's not rough, it is soft, but it does tickle. I mean, I do get tickles on my neck, so it's very wearable, and it's very light and very warm. And it's called felted tweed DK, but I think you can knit it up as a 4-ply as well. So that's fingering in the US. Yes, so I really, really like this. I did the buttons are from, oh, look at the pretty buttons. They are from Buttoned Up UK. I found them on Etsy, and I think they were at Yarndale as well. I saw the stall. It's a beautiful store. They do all these gorgeous ceramic buttons sort of inspired by nature. So yes, I really, really enjoyed knitting this one. It's in Marie Wallin's springtime book, I think, but I think I just bought the pattern separately because I saw it, and it was one of the first cardigans I knitted when I really got back into knitting a couple of years ago, because I just saw the design of Fruity Knitting and thought, oh, that's amazing, you know, I wonder if I could knit that, I've got to try it. And then I tried it, easier than I thought. I think intarsia, I did stress about it. You can see the bottom, it's not very tidy at the back. And I did stress because I thought, if you've got to use, with intarsia, you're not carrying the background colour along all of the back. You're just using it where you need to. But in my head, that translated to, I can't have any floats. So I was doing little sections and having loads of little turquoise bits hanging down, and then I was trying to pick them up when I came across, but it didn't always work. And I think I got too stressed about it, and I made a bit of a mess about it. And I think I might have re-knitted this one. I think this was the first side I did. So I did have to re-knit that bit because it all went a bit mad. But I've since realised that as long as it's only a couple of stitches, you can have floats. You just don't have floats, in this bit. You just have it, this bit becomes a bit thicker, but the whole thing isn't thicker, if that makes sense. So that was a bit of a learning curve with the intarsia. I had a bit of an issue with the button band, I think. I had to re-knit it a couple of times because I lengthened the body and then forgot, and then did something mad, and then I picked up the number of stitches and it didn't work. I always have problems with my button bands. You might remember from my aunt's cardigan I did something a bit strange as well. But I got it right in the end. I think I just recalculated it completely. And actually, no, what I did was I knitted it separately and then just sewed it on separately. Then, possibly because of that, I ended up sewing a bit of, I don't know why I've used the wool there. I ended up sewing some tape on the inside because I felt that it was just bending open a bit, and I thought it might be nice to reinforce it. And there was also some curling going on here. But in my wisdom, I sewed the tape right up to the top there, so it stands out lovely. And here I stopped there, so that flops a bit. But it's very light, it's very nice, and it's one of my favourite pieces. So I'm very pleased with that. Now, when I was knitting with this turquoise, I was knitting away and looking at the balls and cooing and going, oh, it's so beautiful. And then I thought, I've got to knit something else in this wool. And normally I would find a pattern that I want to knit, and then I would find what wool's going to work with it, because I think I'm a project knitter rather than a process knitter. But in this case, I went back to front for me, and I bought, I think, 6 or 7 balls of the turquoise, and gazed at them, and then thought, right, I've got to find something that's either DK or 4-ply, and because it can knit up as either, and I'm going to find something and I'm going to knit it and I'm going to love it, and it's going to be in this colour. So I have also got on, this is what I knitted. It is my Fine Line sweater by Lily Kate France. Lily Kate Makes on Instagram. I'll just tuck it in there to my dungarees. This is absolutely beautiful staple piece, and I don't know if the colour's coming across right. It's dark, it's December, it's about 10 to 3, the light is fading, but I don't know if you can see there's beautiful flecks in this. The colour just sings, it's beautiful. And yeah, this was a very simple knit. I think the construction, I'm trying to remember the construction. I can't remember the exact construction, but you do start at the top. I think you cast on some for the back, and then you make some more for the front, I think. And then you whiz round, knit it, then you do the sleeves. So it's knitted in the round top down essentially, and there's a little bit of clever stuff going on at the back. And I think it's really effective. This is nice at work as well. You can wear like a shirt underneath it or a little dicky underneath it, like a collar. I like to do that. And it's great because it's not great. I don't know if it's great, but it basically, I've realised I've got a sort of accidental TwinSet going on. So in a, because these go so well, that's the nice thing when you make things yourself. It couldn't go any better because it is the same wool. It might even be the same dye lot that I managed to get. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I thought I would talk about them as I have absolutely no new creations to talk about because of my stupid elbow. It's this elbow. I have golfer's elbow, knitter's elbow, tennis elbow, medial epicondylitis, I think it's called. So gutted, so gutted. Last time I podcasted, I'd seen the doctor, and she said that Armistice Day in my head was the day I could start knitting again, and I was like, yes. And I counted down to the 10th of November, which isn't Armistice Day, but I was like, what difference can one day make? The doctor says it's fine, even though it probably didn't feel 100%, but I was like, definitely okay, this is going to be great. I knitted for about an hour, and I was so excited. I thought, I still have time to make my Christmas jumper at this stage. And I cast on the Betty and Judy Lodge sweater. It's a gorgeous sort of like 1950s like jumper, 3/4 length sleeves, holly there. I was going to do it in dark red, like a burgundy. I was really excited. And yeah, I knitted for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and this is what I got. That's how far I got before I thought, yeah, my elbow hurts. And I thought, that's okay, I'll give it a rest. The next day, it's swollen up. It was really painful, and I was like, oh, I was so depressed. That's my Christmas jumper. And it took me a few days to accept that actually my Christmas jumper is not going to happen this year. And I was like, I'm going to take the pressure of trying to get it done by Christmas off me, because I don't need that. Absolutely gutted. I've now had 2 appointments with a physiotherapist, and I think he's a bit mystified. I don't think he's ever seen someone come to him with a knitting injury before. He's a bit like, I think he's more used to people that either have computer, well, I mean, I do work at the computer, but more used to people with sort of RSI from computers, or maybe sports or something. But he's quite patient with me, because I keep saying, when can I knit again? And he just keeps going, well, not yet. He's been really, really helpful though. He's given me loads of exercises. I'd already looked up how to do them. There were some really good ones on the internet. Bob and Brad, the physiotherapists, they're so funny. I like watching their videos. So I had already worked out a lot of these exercises, but what he did was he gave me an app, and every other day I have to do the exercises and record the levels of pain, and then you get a little graph so you can actually see if you're improving. That's been really useful. I think it's called like Physy app or something. And some of the exercises, hang on, I'll show you. So some of them are, you might be familiar with. I think from Andrew and Fruity Knitting had a similar injury. I know I just mention Fruity Knitting all the time, but you know, they're amazing. So you've got this weight, and you hang it, you have your arm over a chair, and you do this. This is my good arm. So, and then you do this very slowly. You're sort of trying to strengthen and stretch out your tendons. There's a lot of that. There's one where you're doing this. You're sort of twisting with weight. I've got some putty that I do this with. I'm not a doctor, please don't just do this and then injure yourself and then ask me what on earth. But you know, this is because it was recommended to me and I know what I've got. I've been told I have to take quite a lot more than I thought I would have to of the over-the-counter anti-inflammatories. So I've taken quite a lot of those because I think it's the inflammation that's he says it's struggling to calm down. And I also think I tried too fast in the beginning of my injury. I was using these thinking, oh, that's the way you fix it, I'll make it stronger. But actually I shouldn't have done that while it was inflamed because it wasn't ready for that. So yeah, if it happened again, I really think I probably should just put my needles down for 2 weeks when I first started feeling bad and just left it. I just couldn't get my head around doing that. And I know when Andrew and Fruity Knitting had the injury, she put her needles down for 3 months and I was like, I'm not doing that. It's working out as about 3 months and counting now. And I think the times I've tried have just inflamed it even more because I've picked up my needles before, you know, it was totally ready and before it was totally healed, basically. The other thing that's really helped me is a brace. I had to be shown how to wear it right. It's like I don't know if I can show you actually, I've got too many layers on to show you. It's under here. It's a padded Velcro thing. You can get it quite cheap on the internet for tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. And at first I wore it too loose and thought there's no point in that and didn't bother. But my physiotherapist said, no, he said, he put it on quite tightly and he said, no, that's, the padding needs to be there where all of your big tendon group is. And the point of the brace is that he said, if this is your elbow, so he showed me this charger that he's got, he said, that's your elbow there. And you know, when we do this, and if you do that all the time, like you are with your knitting and probably computer use driving and things like that, it tends to, it frays and eventually it doesn't work, it just stops. But with the brace, instead of all the pressure being there, you're putting pressure there. And when you go and do your business and, you know, about your day, this is protected, it's not having the pressure put on it, so it's just trying to take some of that force and just leave this to be still and get healed. So it definitely has helped because it was really painful, especially on an evening. And I was really frustrated because I felt like doing everyday activities like driving and computer use were bringing the pain on. I wasn't even getting to knit, so I was so depressed. It is improving a little bit. I've got another appointment in January and he says if we don't get anywhere then, if the inflammation's still bad, then we need to think about cortisone shots. So I'll do anything if I can knit again. But yeah, I think tendons do take a long time to heal, so I've obviously really damaged them and probably haven't rested like I should have done at the beginning. So if anyone's got any twinges, just don't do what I did. Just have a rest and calm down. I'm just too obsessive, can't calm down. And to try and cheer myself up, I thought, well, what can I do that I don't normally do when I'm knitting? And that was read. And I listened to Audible, but I really went for my reading because I'm resting, I'm doing this. If I'm watching telly, I'm always messing about, you see. So I've read so many good books, actually. Eleanor Oliphant, I can't remember all the authors. Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. The Couple at Number 9, Remains of the Day, The Night She Disappeared, Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I love Maggie O'Farrell. I've got a list here, and at the bottom of the list, James has written the World Cup. I didn't read the World Cup. We did watch the World Cup, and we did all right, I thought, considering. I mean, England did all right. Come home now. But anyway, I wouldn't say that was any compensation for not knitting, because normally I would be watching the football and knitting at the same time, but I didn't get to do that. So that's how I'm trying to console myself at the moment. I'm just thinking, right, I'll put my time to good use and do something else that I really enjoy. And I have also, well, you would have thought, oh, I would be sewing, because I can sew. There's nothing to stop me from sewing. Yeah, so I have lost my sewing mojo a little bit, and it comes in fits and starts with me. I think I'm a bit scared of my sewing still. But I'll show you what I am making, because I'm getting there. I'm on Christmas holidays now, so you never know, I might do it over the Christmas holidays. So I have got this beautiful jersey fabric. It's a bottle green. It's a bit darker and more yellowy than this turquoise, but I don't know if the colour's coming out. It sort of is. It's stretchy and drapey. It's the same fabric that I made my black dress from, that I showed you a few episodes ago. And I am making this. And the reason I'm making this is just because this is my life. There's a woman in an advert, and she's got a green jumpsuit on, and I really love it. It's the Zoflora advert, and I think it must be from Europe or something, which she sort of dances around with flowers, and I always thought, I love that, and I couldn't find it online anywhere. Actually, no, I did find it eventually. I think it was like proper designer. It was well out of my price range. So I thought I could make it, and yeah, I found a pattern, and I'm doing it, and I think it's totally doable. I just need to get on and do it. I don't know. Well, I do know I haven't done. I've been really, really busy at work, and dark evenings just make me want to go and flop on the sofa. But I think I'll feel good if I do this, and I should do it for the winter because it's a Christmas green. I got a little bit stopped because the instructions say I need some bias tape, and I've got to do this on the edging. I assume it's going to be inside it's inside these crossover bits here. I assume it's inside there, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. But if it's on the inside, it'll be good because I've got this to go inside, so I think it'll be like that. And I thought, that's a nice detail. But just in case I got some other green, just in case it turns out that it's for the edging, but I'm sure it's inside and it'll be hidden. That's quite funny, isn't it? I like that. And it'll look nice with my fabric. Yeah. Doesn't matter if it does show. No, I do want it hidden because, but just be a nice detail if you show people. So that is sort of in the pipeline. I've done like steps 1 and 2. So it's such a nervous sewer. I always like go, one step, just do the step, another step, do the step, and then I have to pace myself, otherwise I get all sort of stressed and worried and panicked, and I'm so worried all the time. I think the reason I stress about sewing is like, what if I eat the fabric up, or not me, this is the machine. I've got a special foot for the jersey fabric after we had a disaster with the dress previously. So that's okay, but there's always like if I do a seam and it's wrong, I could waste the fabric, and then, it's for me, it's quite, not massively expensive, but say I think it was about £40 for this fabric. And that is a lot for me. And then actually, if I ruin it and then have to spend another 40, I haven't got £40 to burn, spending it all on the heating. Yeah, so that is my plan. And my other plan is to knit again, and I still have my magnolia cardigan on my radar. So many things on my radar, actually. My sisters have clubbed together to get me a knitting belt for Christmas. So I'm wondering if no, I can't, because I won't be much better in 2 days. It's only 2 days away Christmas. But in my head, I'm thinking, oh, well, a knitting belt it's supposed to use different muscle groups. It should be using these muscle groups, not this one. It's a lot of this twisting that's ruined me on the left arm, but also the fact that I haven't got a lot of upper body strength, and I haven't, you know, I think that the muscle groups that I have, when I went for my sports massage, she said, these are so tight, this is tight, even your hands tight, because there's not enough. I hadn't done enough stretching, I hadn't done enough to balance out the work that I was doing knitting. I was seeing knitting as a very relaxing activity that I could do wherever, whenever, and actually your body's still doing work, it's still got wear and tear, even though the movements are tiny, and I think I didn't balance them out with some weights and bigger movements and stuff. So I'm going to be better at that, and my physio says that I definitely will knit again and it will be fine, but I need to be stronger in general, and then that's probably like a good aim to have. I might even learn to do a press up, who knows, it's still on the cards. Still can't do one. So the other future plan I have at the moment that isn't knitting, because I don't want to break my heart too much in case it's longer than I think, I'm hoping to be knitting again by mid-January, fingers crossed. I bought this fabric because I think it's so pretty. Look at that. It's like, is it Art Deco type? Art Nouveau, Art Deco. I love this. I thought though, this is the problem with buying fabrics online, I thought it was stretchy. I know that you're supposed to check the composition and there's no elastane in it, it's 100% cotton, so I don't know why in my head I thought it was stretchy. I think I was just shocked out online and I got carried away with the pattern and thought it'll go with all my jumpers, and I just bought it, and so it is lovely. I just don't know if it's too stiff, but maybe I'm just too obsessed with jersey. I love drape with fabric, but I have got this pattern. I found this one on Etsy. I think it's a sort of vintagey one, a bit 90s, but nothing wrong with the 90s, I love the 90s. I'm thinking of doing like that one in it, and that could be a really cool summer one, maybe with long sleeves, maybe 3/4 length sleeves, we'll see. So that's another thing in the pipeline, but I don't need to worry about that until, well, I can do that if I can't knit for ages, but there's no hurry. But that is another possibility. So I think that's about it really. I know this is a short one, but you know, I haven't got enough knitting to show you, just some historical stuff, and you know, about 3 rows of my Betty and Judy Lodge sweater. How sad is that? Yeah, so I think that's just about it. I will probably podcast again once I'm knitting again, which I like I say, I really hope it's going to be sort of mid-January if I'm lucky. And I hope you all have a lovely Christmas and a happy new year. And you've been watching MelMade. I can be found on Instagram as MellyArt13, MelMade at MellyArt13, and on Ravelry as MellyArt. Thank you very much. Happy Christmas. Bye.
No, the tray isn't, and the clock isn't either. And the little house is from John Lewis.
There's a lot of nativity scenes in
Christmas
this.
at Catherine.
Yes.
Santa.
Santa Nutcracker.
Oh, look.
Hello. I love Christmas at Catherine's.